Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's I'm going to be reviewing the Ford Mustang Dark Horse. This one has the automatic. If you guys want a manual review, just let me know in the comments down below. Before we get in this video, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Young Ford here in Ogden for giving me some time with this Mustang Dark Horse. I'll include a link to the website in the description down below. Also include a link to my car buying guide. Let's get into it. Under the hood, we have an NA 5-liter V8 that goes through a 10-speed. You can also get this with a manual. Fuel economy is 14 around town, 22 on the highway, with power outputs being 500 horsepower and then 418 pound-feet of torque. I think that's pretty cool, functional. Before we move forward with this review, I do want to mention if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So taking a look at the hood, really cool decals there. They're kind of dark. And the paint's dark as well, so not the easiest to see. Anyways, I love the Mustang's new headlight design. I think it looks really sharp. You've got all the metallic gray here with the grille, the darker Mustang horse as well. Really aggressive looking front end in general. Tire and wheel setup is 255 by 40 by 19 in the front, and then 275 by 40 by 19 in the rear. And you can see this does come with Brembo brakes, and I love how they're finished in blue to kind of go with the Dark Horse theme. Got the Dark Horse logo there on the side. You see the satin gray there for the mirror cap. And then, take a few steps back, there's a side profile. Now this leads us to the key fob. We have our lock and unlock, remote start. We've got the opening for the trunk as well, and then you've got the Mustang logo there on the back. And let's pop in here and see what it's all about. There we go. So, decent amount of storage. Again, this is a sports car at the end of the day, so it's not going to be all that practical. But when you're all done, just kind of plop that down. Giant spoiler here on the back. You've got the new taillights, which still have the cool sequential part of them. And then really aggressive exhaust tips. And just an aggressive looking rear end in general. Now popping inside, we've got soft touch up top, down below as well. I love the little blue strip that goes across. You can see the window controls there. And then blind spot monitoring with the mirrors. And then here's the Recaro seats up front, really aggressive looking. I'm just gonna pull this tab right here. Oops, let's pull that more. There's a tab on the back that you can pull to access the rear. But yeah, you do have back seats with the same blue coloration and Alcantara and everything, but more of a storage shelf than actual seating. And then you do get a nice finish on the pedals too. Now here's a quick look at the steering wheel. I like the little grip holds there. I think that's pretty cool. And the material's actually different on the outside compared to the interior of the steering wheel. Paddle shifters there on the back for the 10-speed. Practical controls in the front, including controls for the center, adaptive cruise control, and then just traditional stocks there on the back. Now we do have the digital gauge cluster here in the center, which can see different bits of vehicle information. Pretty standard. Again, most modern cars have something like this. The cool thing is the different gauge styles. So of course you've got like normal stuff here, as you can see, and then you got like a sport gauge style as well. There's even a track. But the fun stuff is like the classic. And then you got the Fox body that they added, I think they added it a little bit later on. And then they have this new SVT Cobra. So that's fun. Backup camera in reverse, trajectory lines turn with the steering wheel, good resolution overall. And then as for the rest of the infotainment system, you can see the control for the heated steering wheel is there on the screen. You got your climate controls as well. And I think we're gonna do, I think we'll leave it on this one. I haven't driven one with this before. But yeah, quick response time. It's easy to use, and yes, it is all one unit. Kind of cool trim here, also across the dash, and it says Dark Horse there at the end. And then you do have a bunch of controls down below, so like this is the important one because it pops up with, well, everything that you'd want. Track apps, auxiliary gauges, all of that. A little volume control there as well. Shifter here for the 10-speed. And then you got the weird little parking brake, some cup holders, and then center console. The reason I say it's weird is because it's electronic, but then it doesn't look like it would be. And then no sunroof or anything like that. So here's our sticker for this Dark Horse. $74,515 is the total MSRP. You gotta pay to play when it comes to fancy Mustangs. Let's see how it performs. Well, let us set off in the Dark Horse, or as Gen Z would say, the Dank Horse. I had to make the joke. Something that I do find interesting about some of these, this is just an interesting take, some of these sports cars is they've gone super digital, which I think is kind of strange, because the demographic that would buy this car, the demographic that has the money to buy this car, doesn't care about digital. Like they've lived in an analog world, so for most of their lives, right? They've had some digital stuff, but I don't know. I just think that's interesting. Like I could understand all digital in like a Ford Maverick or something, because a younger person's gonna buy that. But something like this, like you gotta have boomer bucks to be able to afford this. So all digital seems kind of strange to me. Here's my take. But anyways, seats are very comfortable for being such an aggressive sports car. Seats are very comfortable. And on top of that, yeah, it's got good power. It has got good power. Yes, I know the fuel's low. Thank you. Yeah, the suspension's comfy too. The thing about the Mustang, and just the muscle cars in general, I think why they are so popular in American culture is, you know, the looks and they're American cars, but also they're super daily drivable. A lot of sports cars aren't. You have to concede a lot. But with this, you don't really have to concede much. It's very daily drivable. Let's pop into the sport mode here. Again, these animations are like very, like a millennial or a Gen Z is going to see that and go, that's cool, but like a boomer is going to be like, why? Why, computer? Oh, I forgot how good a Coyote V8 is. It's such a wonderful engine. It's got so much low-end torque. It's buttery smooth, especially with the 10-speed. And it sounds fantastic. I think it took, like, I was never a big fan of turbocharged engines in general, but I think it took putting 4 cylinders in pickup trucks for us to all realize how much we need V8s. Because I'm seeing so many people that just go, yep, V8 everything, and it's cool that Ford still makes this. And the reason why Ford was able to keep this around just comes down to the fact that they sold EVs, right? They had the carbon credits to be able to keep cool stuff like this. Oh, such a good sound. Such a good sound. And see, I think electric cars have also shown us how good V8s are because they have all the acceleration, right? You can go 0 to 60 in 0 seconds, basically. And this isn't obviously that, like, this is not slow, but it's not like insanely fast either compared to a lot of modern cars. I mean, you've got Tesla SUVs that can go 0 to 60 faster than this. But the way that this develops the power, the sound and everything, it's so iconic. Can't be beat. Cannot be beat. And just the low-end torque you get with the V8. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. One of the coolest powertrains that is still in existence today. Just listen to that. Come on. Your Tesla don't sound like that. And it does all of this in a car that handles pretty well. And the thing with the Dark Horse is, yes, it still doesn't have the front end feel that you have with the previous gen Mustangs. This is better than a GT. Yeah, it's not the worst. That is the one downside with the new Mustang, is you can't really tell what the front end's doing. And it's not like a deal breaker in my opinion, but it does cause some controversy for me. And you know, being someone that, if I was to buy a sports car, would want to feel as connected as possible, it would make me kind of lean toward just getting a used Mustang instead of a new one. Like, I owned 2 GT350s over my life, and I would rather have one of those than this. Despite the fact that the GT350 engine might blow up on me. Gosh, this is such a good car. It's expensive though. So let me know what you guys think about the Dark Horse, but I think that because we live in a turbo hybrid electric world, stuff like this really, really shines now. Because, I mean, again, 10 years ago, this wasn't all that special. It's like 5.0 V8 in a Mustang, cool. Cool story, bro. I can get a 6.4 V8 in Challenger. But now, like, this is it. So, it's made something that was, I wouldn't say mundane, right? 5.0 V8's always going to have some level of speciality to it, but it took something that was kind of like just there, like that people thought was cool, but like, I mean, there's other stuff that's cool too, to now like, this is a big deal. So, let me know your thoughts on the Dark Horse.